Welcome to the New York Outlook for Wednesday, the 4th of December 2023. Starting off with the economic calendar, we've got ADP non-farm employment change coming out in 15 minutes after the start of the New York session. Depending on the news release, we'll then align our trade to be aligned to whatever bias this suggests, aka fading the news. Um, yeah, Gov Bailey spoke, but GBP didn't move very much at all. So if we quickly just glance at the 15 minute, you can see this was Asia. We then broke the Asia range slightly, but there isn't anything significant there. Just a quick recap on the 4 hour, pretty much the same as the London outlook. We're still reacting from this pullback OB, which is then validating the secondary leg that you just saw in the 15 minute. Our targets are indeed this pro trend OB. However, it's not the extreme, so the pullback phase is still validated, and once we break this level with the body, we'll extend the pullback phase primary leg. In terms of how I'm looking to approach the session, so given that the London range will still be intact, and at this point in time, assuming that the Asia high of the day will hold, it doesn't make sense to consider this trade anymore. But yeah, so that didn't happen, and now what you can see is price is coming back up, and since the reaction to the pullback phase OB and the creation of the secondary leg, the 15 minute order flow has shifted with supply holding, so supply is definitely in control. I've placed my entry around here because the London range is expected to be swept on one side or the other, and if it is going to sweep this, then it's probably going to sweep the Asia range slightly, which is why I've used the fib from yesterday that was aligning this trade, just to give me somewhat of an area to consider for for shorting. For now, I'll leave my trade as such. I'm waiting for the news release at 3:15, so there's about 15 minutes, and then dependent on the news release, I will align my trade ideas accordingly. At the moment, I'm still heavily short bias with no reasons to long at the moment. As you can see, we're not reacting to anything whatsoever right here. There is potentially a window of imbalance right here that maybe we should consider to validate long ideas, but as you can see, at no point did demand actually take control. So it would be something like this, would be our wump. Let's just see if we're actually reacting to it. Yeah, so we are reacting to it, which thus gives us reason to consider the pro trend long idea from this area. But you can then see that we have validated the secondary leg. 15 minute has changed character, and if demand is going to hold, we'll have to see the break of structure right here. So we can mark that out. And once we've established that demand is indeed in control, then we can consider longs for the day. However, this is all dependent on the news, and at present I feel more confident in shorting than longing, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of the daily candles, today's the third day, so that's not imposing any bias on our trade direction, which is fine. But yeah, it's just something to monitor, because once the news comes out, then at least we'll have a bit more of a directional bias, and then we can essentially go from there. Just to show you what the 5 minute currently looks like. So as you can see, in the morning we had the 5 minute change of character. It was then wicked, however supply is still considered holding. We came back into it and then broke further down, and we've just created this chain. There is a possibility that this is all IRL. This is why I'm putting my my order as such, because there's a lot of liquidity and I don't know what the news release will be. So yeah, I guess in summary, the approach is both longs and shorts are valid. Monitor the order flow and ensure that your trade logic aligns with the news release, and then trade in that direction. But that's the end of the New York outlook, and we'll chat again for the end of day review.